We are all upset and saddened to see and hear about another attack by a gunman against innocent people. Very disturbing, very upsetting. And there are many solutions that are proposed to this problem, just as any other problem. Many of them logical, but not always does logic meet with practicality. There's sometimes a gap. Logic would say this, but put it in practical purpose will not. Let us try one approach and compare the solution that's offered so very often about adding legislation, more gun laws, and by placing these restrictions on the ownership of guns, that would cut down or perhaps deter such actions. And compare this to the motor vehicle. Motor vehicle is also a deadly weapon, and there are more people proportionately to the amount of people that own cars, more people, more deaths and injuries occurs because of the faulty running of the car, because of faulty operation or some other things that human negligence brings about. And let's see what it accomplishes. Now, the laws restricting the ownership and the operation of motor vehicles are strong, and they're diverse, and they're enforced, and yet we still, unfortunately, have too many funerals and too many hospital stays as a result of motor vehicles. When it comes to as action, such a motor vehicle, well, people are in a hurry to get somewhere. People are rushed or are diverted, their attention is diverted. When it comes to a case like this, a terrorist murder, the problem is that the perpetrator has been either educated and to consider terror as piety, as a religious observance, or perhaps this individual thinks that it's proper, it's moral. He has a complaint against society. Well, he's going to take it out and show society how important he is. So the answer then would be to legislate laws, not so much to control the guns, that's so easy to legislate, and perhaps easy to control, but the ability to control human activity, the ability to change people's attitude from piety to evil, that is something that is a solution that perhaps could minimize the amount of terror that we suffer from. So many subjects taught in schools, both elementary school, middle school, high school, advanced education institutions, all kinds of things are taught. Taught how to cook, how to sew, how to do many things. There should be classes in morality and let people understand how the rights of others are important and how love is an expression that is required rather than hate. And perhaps if there would be education to our students, there'd be a drop in the amount of terror attacks. We'd have less than there are now. And that is a logical solution and also a practical solution, because children follow the course of the education that they had as youngsters. And this does not violate the separation of church and state, because morality is not a particular religion. Morality is the basis of all religions, or it should be at least. And this then does not violate the Constitution. The Constitution is not to force any particular practice of religion on anybody, or even to promote particularly practice of religion, particularly in schools also. But morality is something that is not sectarian. Morality is humanitarian rather than sectarian. And it certainly is important enough to be able to consider as a viable part of the solution of these problems.